Well, John, we've been talking to each other over the course of a number of decades, but way back when, we were talking ultralights. Now we're talking three-quarter scale Mustangs?
Yeah. Well, Jim, I guess the three-quarter scale Mustang was always my passion, even back in the early days and back in the late 80s when we were actually manufacturing the CGS Hawk. I was, at that time, we were working out of Middlefield Airport, and we had a P-51 based there, and at that time I was making plans to, what I really wanted to do when I got into building these airplanes was to build a P-51 Mustang. I watched the Stewart thing come together and the FEWs and the Thunder Mustang and so forth. So it took probably about a good 15 years of analyzing and figuring out really what I want, how I was going to approach it. And I guess I probably kind of went to school on the other guys. And one of the things that they did that I felt the rest of the people did in the scaled Mustang was to go for very high performance. And the thing that I recognized in that is it was also made a very high pucker factor airplane. They were heavy airplanes with large engines, large automotive engines that I felt the result of that was something that you're coming across the fence at 100 miles an hour plus, and it makes for a pretty hot, squirrely airplane.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
From my flying experience, I know that we all like to be macho, but at the same time, we don't. When your knees are shaking when you get out of the airplane, it's not necessarily a fun airplane. So what I set out to do here was to make a Mustang that's a friendly flyer, still looks the part, and we were able to achieve that. So that was the primary design criteria: is to make a nice, friendly flyer that still had decent performance, but not something that was necessarily going to go out and blow the doors off the real thing. The Mustang, the width of the Mustang, when you get it scaled down, won't accommodate a standard aircraft engine like a Lycoming or a Continental. So you have to find an engine that'll work. So that was probably the thing that held me up for the longest period of time, waiting for an engine that I felt had the reliability and the power to fly a three-quarter scale Mustang. Well, Rotex came along with the 912 engine, and the 912 just wasn't there, but when they came out with the 912S, I felt that now there's an engine that could fly a scaled Mustang. And of course then the 914, but the 914 is quite pricey, so I decided that the 912 would do it, and it probably still took me about 3 years beyond that time to really get the project in motion. There were several times that I attempted to get it in motion, but there were other things that always get in the way.
You've heard of this thing called WAAS, right? The Wide Area Augmentation System lets you fly GPS glide path approaches without relying on ground-based landing aids. No VOR, no ILS, no problem. Fact is, WAAS is so smart, it even knows what you're going to say next time you need it. And don't have it on board. Wah, I want my WAAS now! I was really crying there for a second.
The 9/11 fiasco probably even helped somewhat in this project because the bottom fell out of the market there for a couple of months, and it definitely allowed us to concentrate totally on this project. We about 9 months later, in May of 2002, we flew the first prototype. The airplane did everything that I wanted it to do and more. The low-end performance that I was shooting for, and then and certainly the airplane had the look that I was after. And it's evolved over the years then into using an automotive engine, which I didn't want to do, But it just happened that one of our dealers put one of these, the Suzuki V6 in. After people have, there's several other engines that have been attempted, but this has probably been the most successful because it has the right power to weight ratio. And what really happened is several people were wanting this engine. I was really doing everything I could to steer them around it because of my concerns about the extra weight making it too hot an airplane, increasing the stall speed to something that would be have questionable safety, and also questionable reliability. So I feel the combination of a hot airplane and an engine with questionable reliability is a recipe for disaster. And
the record speaks that way.
Right. So what happened was I finally decided I felt I was being unfair because I hadn't flown the airplane, and I was doing my best to keep people from buying the V6. I finally felt that I had to be objective about it and go fly the airplane. Well, when I flew the airplane, I was just totally blown away with the handling qualities. If anything, it just improved the handling qualities, and if anything, I felt it made it a safer airplane because the stall speed, if it didn't go up noticeably, maybe it went up a couple miles an hour, but certainly not noticeably. So we were still stalling in the 40s. So you're able to, basically our airplane, you're able to land in about 300 feet. It gets off the ground at about 300 feet and lands in about 300 feet of ground roll. But so if you have a problem, you can put it down just about anywhere.